Hello and welcome back to 2024 here on LM Simulation here on YouTube. It's a brand new year, it's a brand new start, it's a brand new time to explore some new DLC here in Train Sim World 4. I hope everyone has had a wonderful Christmas and Happy New Year to one and everyone here on LM Simulation. It is now January, we're going to go ahead and check out some brand new content, and let's just dive right in because this is none other than the Blackpool Branches route. Yes, 48 miles of fantastic scenery, absolutely wonderful trains, and you know, a real step back in time. So I think without further ado, it's probably worth having an in-depth look at this, working out what you can do, the local, regional, express passenger services, even the parcel services, having a good go and seeing what it's like. I am more excited than anything to try out the Class 142 Pacer. I'm so glad this is in the game right now. So, without further ado, let's jump in. This is Blackpool Branches, Preston to Blackpool and Ormskirk, here in Train Sim World 4. Right, so, we're just going to jump in. Probably worth doing the route introduction just to get you introduced to the route. And after that we will then go ahead and play some gameplay and have a look at what the 142 Pacer is really like. So let's get started. So in next to no time, here we are. This is the Blackpool Branches route introduction here in Train Sim World 4. I will let Tom take the reins on this one.
Welcome to Preston Station, the heart of the Blackpool Branches, Preston, Blackpool and Ormskirk route. Situated on the West Coast Main Line, halfway between the stations at London Euston and Glasgow Central, it's a vital link for passengers travelling to the famous and popular seaside holiday destination of Blackpool, as well as other parts of the country. Looks like there's a missing route map over there. Let's head over to it and fix it while she's up here.
So, initial impressions, it looks really, really good. In fact, this is literally exactly what Preston looks like today, which tells you how little this station has changed. So, let's jump in and have a look, just have a look through this fantastic little station. Here you go, you've got the ticket offices, which are there in real life. Obviously not on this side anymore, this is all just TVMs, ticket vending machines. You've got your departure boards up there, which is nice to see on either side. And we've got a Class 47 that's just arrived. So before we go ahead and fix this, I'm just going to go to the front of this train and have a look, see what we've got hauling us. It is worth noting this uses the Class 47 that I think was previously in the route. As a result, it uses some of the Steam Workshop or Creators Club sort of stuff that you've already got. So for me, this Anglia Class 47 is something I've had prior. There you go. So it's looking a bit out of place, and that's not how the route comes. As far as I'm aware, that's something I've got in the Creators Club. So there we go. Got some Mark IIs, basic Mark IIs, corridor Mark IIs, Mark II A's or B's, followed by standard Mark IIs and a Mark 1 BG on the rear brake guards. No tail lamp, naughty. We've also got a nice little freight over there that's come in from the Burn Naze branch. It's lovely to see. Proper British Rail freight, and this is definitely feeling like Preston. Now, to show you how little this station has changed, the cafe is still there. It's just a pumpkin now instead of a traveller's fair or whatever it was. This is exactly the same. I remember you come up these steps here to go on the underpass between all the platforms. That's still there, exactly how it was 45 years ago. And more importantly, there's a Pacer! Yes, we've got a Pacer in Train Sim World 4. Yes, and we're going to be driving that. I can't wait. It's so fun to drive. Really is, honestly. Blows you away. So let's get this route map sorted first.
There are a lot more tasks across the route, so be sure to find and replace the missing route maps and enjoy eating the gingerbread. Ormskirk is famous for gingerbread. Fix the broken signs, collect the golf bags, and have fun with building sandcastles.
See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that Ormskirk is famous for gingerbread. My mum loves gingerbread, so that's that's a good idea, because this is obviously a lot more local for me. Probably won't be for you, or if it is for you, even better. Just so that you're aware, when I mentioned Tom is the guy from Trains and TV. He's also the guy from Just Trains, and he is the guy who's worked on this and also done the commentary for it. You'll know, if you watch Trains and TV on Twitch and stuff like that on YouTube, you'll know who Tom is. Well worth having a look at his channel. I'll give it a link in the description below, because Tom is a good friend of mine. He's done a lot of work for Train Sim, and very fond of his work, is for sure, especially with Just Trains. We're just waiting for the next iteration of the Midland Main Line now, up to Buxton and featuring the quarries and whatnot. So, but with this, Luminek, I tell you what, if this is what Just Trains can do for Trains in World 4, I cannot wait to see what Alan Thompson Sim does for Trains in World 4. Anyway, let's jump in.
Take a seat anywhere you like.
Right, we'll go into the front carriage, nice little bumpy trip, and we'll sit down here in standard class as the train will depart. We've got those nice wagons next to us, and a bloke, woman, or something quite interesting.
Our journey begins at Preston, which opened in 1838 as part of the key West Coast Main Line from London to Glasgow. It forms a central pivot point for the route, and it's an important interchange for trains throughout the northwest England. It provides connections from places such as Cole and Ormskirk to trunk services to Glasgow and London, among others. Services from Preston to York are also a regular feature. However, the bulk services leaving the station head to Manchester via Bolton. Blackpool once had 3 stations: Blackpool North, Central and South. Blackpool Central was closed in 1964, however the North and South stations still exist for you to explore. Formerly known as Blackpool Talbot Road, Blackpool North is now the main terminating station for the town. The station once comprised of 16 platforms, but was cut down to 8 when the original station building was demolished and relocated to its current location. Blackpool South, formerly known as Waterloo Road, was made the sole terminus of the southern end of the town when Central Station closed in 1964.
Yeah, you'll know that if you know Blackpool.
This train is the British Rail Class 142 diesel mechanical multiple unit in the provincial blue livery. The Class 142, known as the Pacer, was introduced between 1985 and 1987, with 96 units built. The unit was designed to keep its costs as low as possible to develop, and uses the road Corsa design as its model. The Pacer has no bogies and has axles bolted directly to its chassis, which can result in some defining ride characteristics.
Bumpy ride.
Alongside the Class 142, you'll also be able to drive the VR Class 47 diesel locomotive and the VR Class 08 diesel shunter. These locomotives will provide you with a wide variety of experiences, meaning you can drive all kinds of services encompassing passenger, freight and parcel trains. Set the pace and enjoy the journey.
Set the pace.
With a wide variety of changing scenery, local travel and Train Sim World. You can drive to the famous seaside resort of Blackpool, head south via some beautiful countryside to Ormskirk, or go on the freight-only route to Burn Naze. Look out for many landmarks along the way, such as the world-famous Blackpool Tower, the Blackpool Pleasure Beach, or even the Church of St Walburge in Preston. Heading south, look for the river.
Wasn't that the Church of St Walburge?
Across the river, you will see characterful signal boxes and distinctive stations. Welcome to Blackpool Branches.
This road here, I'll talk about it a little bit when we jump into the next one. But that road there is quite an interesting road, I'll tell you that. So let's go back to... I've done the 142 introduction, there's no point, it's literally just driving it around a test track, and I would prefer to explore it in the route as it is. So there you go, that's your introduction to Blackpool Branches. Fantastic commentary by Trains and TV Tom, well done, nice work Tom. The only thing I will say is his voice is very quiet compared to the volume of the game. I just think that needs to be a little bit altered. I will message him just to let him know that. That's literally the only feedback I'd say. The route itself, it looks superb. I've only explored between Blackpool North and Preston, i.e. in the other direction between Preston and Blackpool North. I've not actually done Blackpool South. I've definitely not done Ormskirk. I've never done... Sorry, I've never done Ormskirk in my life. It's not been in Trains in Classic, whereas Blackpool North has. Blackpool South isn't in Trains in Classic either, as far as I'm aware. So I'd like to look into that. So let's jump in and do a timetable run first with the Class 142 in the orange would be nice. I do like the orange. You've got loads of different liveries here. We'll set it for light clouds. That's probably the best way to do it. On dynamic weather, and we'll start off with a service to Blackpool North or Blackpool South. It's a good question. Well, we have Blackpool North in Train Sim Classic, but we haven't had Blackpool South. So it's probably worth travelling to Blackpool South if there's a service that starts from Preston to Blackpool South. There you go, 7:17. Well, I will have to change the date because it will be dark. So 28th of March, light clouds, 7:17 in the morning. Preston to Blackpool South. Let's get started. And then when we get to Blackpool South, we'll do a full service all the way through to Ormskirk. So here we go. 2 coaches, 55.6 tonnes, which is hardly anything because it's a bus, and a Class 142. So let's have a look. First of all, have a look round the Class 142 Pacer. I must admit, the cab looks superb. I love the retro style maquette here. It's very similar to what Doctor Who wears now. If you've ever seen the recent Doctor Who's, the new Doctor Who, he wears a very similar sort of outfit to this. And I think we actually, the previous Doctor Who did as well, to be honest. So it's, yeah, it's a nice little retro vibe now actually. I like it. You've got access to the blinds here. This is the rolling blinds. Loads of different buttons you can press, saloon lights and whatnot, and heaters and fire systems, whatnot. It's really interactive. And when you go in and have a look in the passenger view, look, you've got this nice little retro maquette there. That looks fantastic. You've got these nice little sideways seats, you might remember. The old bus seats in the classic 142 Pacer. Yeah, it just looks superb. So I think the first thing we should do, first of all, is just sit down and unlock the doors, as it says. I am going to put the master key on, and then I'm also going to lift the AWS cover and activate it. Because I don't know why, but it's always isolated in Train Sim world, which is a bit bizarre. Let's reset the AWS. That's us sorted. Put the headlights on the head. Got instrument lights turned on. Signal buzzer. We're going to Blackpool South, aren't we? So we need to set the destination to Blackpool South. And then we'll have a look outside just to make sure that's done it. There we go, that's Blackpool South. Yeah, that's done it. That looks fantastic. There you go, Blackpool South with this 142003. Nice little retro one. This... Oh, got 47 somewhere. I definitely hear a 47. Right, so we've got to lock the doors and get on the way. This is looking very similar to the new Locomotive Services Pacer, the one where they did the GMPTE livery, which I think is a little bit later than this, just a tad. Still in the orange though, that's for sure. Definitely got we've definitely got some sort of 47 round here, haven't we? Oh, it sounds like they're coupling up. Rightio, well, we'll go inside, lock the doors, make sure that we've got everything on. We'll make sure we've got the saloon lights on as well, which they are, that's good. Jump in and let's get on the way. So let's lock the doors, we'll open the windows. So I love having a bit of outside sounds in. There you go, there's just the signal buzzer. That's your West Coast 3-step brake. You need to put it into forwards would help. Oh, nice. There you go. And there we go, we're on the way. Just going to up the game sound a tad. Lovely. Bit of pacer action there. Intrigued to see what this 47's doing. Ah, lovely. It's a true British classic action there. Right, let's get on the way. Our next stop is Kirkham and Wesham. We don't stop at Salwick. And then we'll obviously be taking the line off at Kirkham and Wesham southbound. So if you want to have a quick look at the route map, this is Preston here. Obviously Preston Docks is down there, and you've got all the station sidings and whatnot, many of which still exist to this day. You've got the sidings out both sides, parcels and whatnot. Most of these are civil engineers sidings these days, to be honest. We've got another pacer coming in the opposite direction. Oh! God, didn't expect that. It's a 101. Was it a 101? Well, it's something like that. That is proper old school, a 101. Very, very old school. Look at the graphics. It's insane. Absolutely fantastic. Can't say no to this route thus far. It is honestly on another level. On another level. Right, because we're only going up to 35 at the moment, I'll leave it in notch 4 and we'll get ourselves up there. There you go, got some pacer action going on there. Lovely bit of pacer action that. Wow. And if I'm not mistaken, this building here is Preston Power Signal Box, PSB, which is where they do all the signalling from these days. Yeah, it is. Thought so. Let's get that nice little screenshot. Oh. Make sure we don't start speeding. But look at the bouncing. Feel proper with that. Instrument lights are on. Destination lights on. Right, so as we go out this way, you'll start to see some factories, many of which don't exist anymore, unfortunately. Just like with Manchester. The factory sort of, or the cotton mill element died off many years ago. A lot of the cotton mills still survive to this day, however a lot of them don't. So it's like doing a bit of a retro route in Manchester for sure. Let's take it up to max. So we've got a road that we'll shortly be going matching. Now that road, I believe, if I'm right, I would need to confirm this though. Because I'm never always right. My geography with British roads definitely needs improvement. Just trying to see where the railway goes. Yeah, so that road there that we're going along past now, that's Tom Benson Way, which is part of the B6241. Obviously it's being built in this time. You've got the guys working on the roads there, which is nice. So obviously a lot of it's changed as the years have gone on, but blooming hell this pacer moves, doesn't it? Might have to take the throttle down a tad. Take it down to notch 5. We'll go through Salwick and then Kirkham and Wesham, and then after that it's all new territory, not something we've done before. And this is going to be a long video, by the way, guys. Proper special long video. You're going to see the whole route between Blackpool South and Ormskirk once we're finished with this. So it is going to be a long video. Just be ready for that, that's all. Just I don't need to warn you or anything, but if you want to skip ahead, I will put stuff in the description so that you know timestamps. When I get videos this long, really timestamps can be quite helpful for you to navigate to the part of the video that you want to see. Let's take that throttle down, so we're nearly at 75. We'll soon be at Salwick, which these days is literally just a loop, or used to be a loop and a station. I don't even know if there's a loop anymore there. But in this day and age, back in the 1980s, 1990s, a big station there. In terms of sidings and the track elements, the station is pretty much the same size, but it's very expansive. If I show you on the route map, just left Preston here to head up towards. This is Salwick here. We've got a freight train in the siding, which is quite interesting. This is Salwick Station, and this is Kirkham and Wesham, as it used to be with all the station sidings and whatnot. And then this is the line we'll be taking all the way round to Blackpool South, which terminates up there. We've got Pleasure Beach Station and all of those down there. So I'm looking forward to that, because I've done the route in real life, but I've never done it in train sim. I'm just conscious that we are verging on the speed limit slightly. There's a cab light. Notice it makes no difference in the day. It will in the night, obviously not in the day. It's a Burn Naze train. Lovely. And there's your signal box at Salwick. I love the bouncing element. Look at it. Look at it bouncing up and down. Oh, it's so cute, isn't it? I can't remember which 142 pacer they have at Locomotive Services. It's 003, I'm going to laugh. Just checking now. Oh, it was a long time ago, wasn't it? And it went out. Be on flicker. No, it won't. God knows, absolutely God knows. I've definitely got the photos somewhere. I need to start braking. We've got a 45 coming up. Yeah, it is 142.003 that Locomotive Services are. So this exact one is the one that's in preservation with LSL. That's fantastic. We're speeding quite badly. There you go, just about got away with it. So our next stop very shortly will be Kirkham and Wesham. Keep slowing down until we get near the platform. All those bouncing around, proper bouncing. Lovely spring day, because we are going into spring now, so I think it's probably worth doing spring. There we go, let's keep going. And there we go, that's us unlocking the doors on the right. That's us at Kirkham and Wesham. I'd like to get a photo like that. That'd be nice. No. Oh, these people just... Because the people keep coming, they just get in the way. I think it's like real life, unfortunately. You just can't get away from people, can you? Right, there you go. I think we did it. Wait until 7:31. Radio. Okay. Waiting until 7:31. And then now we can lock the doors, lock right, and then we'll get on our way. Done very well, to be honest. Right, here we go. Yeah, I do like that buzzer, very nice. And off we go. Oh, we're in the station building. We're trapped in the station building, oh well. Yeah, I've got the photos here of it. 142003 in Lime Street. Very nice, very nice. It doesn't feel like it's been long enough since they've been out of service to warrant a rail tour with them though. I think it's a bit too early. In my mind it is a bit too early. But it's nice to see nonetheless. I wouldn't mind. Problem is they're so popular now that it just would be havoc. I mean, you don't get assigned seats because obviously the seating is dreadful. So, and because they're so popular for some odd reason, you'd end up being pushed against the window if you wanted a window seat by some bloke next to you with a massive camera bag and whatnot. It's just not my idea of fun, unfortunately. You used to be able to just go on them and just have a seat to yourself, but no. I'd love it if they took it to like a DMU gala, 100%. Oh my word, 100%. I'd love to see that. So here we go, onwards to our next stop at Moss Side in 2.5 miles. This is my first time ever going to Blackpool South in a train sim. So, wow. Honestly, from here on, I'll be happy whatever happens. Get above 30. Nice little farmer waiting for us. Cheers, mate. Oh, look at that. It's just the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen in this game. Honestly. I don't mean to say anything to obviously the first party developers, but this route is far better than any route Dovetail Games have brought out. I can tell you that. For love nor money, is it worth the money? It is not a cheap route. For the amount of content you get in it, it is very expensive. And initially I thought, no, there's no way it's worth the money that you pay for it. But this is also a review as well as a first look. I always review the content that I look at, and very much so am I liking what I'm seeing at the moment. I think I think it's brilliant. I will tell you once we get to the end of the video whether I think it's worth it. We'll give a little sum up and stuff like that. But from what I've seen so far, fantastic. Honestly, fantastic. Trying to stop us from speeding, but I don't know if that's going to help. I think we're still going up, unfortunately. Let's have a look at us as we make the corner turn round here. Should be very nice. entirely sure if I caught that in time. Hopefully. Right, start to slow down. Our next stop shortly will be Moss Side. Tell you what, these paces can shift. When you need them to shift, they can really shift. And far better than the existing rolling stock at the time. Yeah, I know I'm speeding. Just trying to get the speed down. Blimey, it is not a long platform at all, is it? There you go, that's Moss Side. First time stopping here ever. I think I've done alright. Have a quick look outside. Oh yeah, that looks fantastic. Really does look. I love the way the sun looks through the trees and shadows onto the rolling stock. Very nice indeed. Question is, are we on time? Yes, we are. Very much so. So we'll close the doors. Sorry about the cough that I've obviously got. I think I've got a bit of man flu after Christmas. Also known as overeating the Christmas turkey. Oh wow. Oh, there used to be 2 platforms here. So look, even in the 1980s this platform has been mothballed. Look at it now. I don't exactly know what the frame rate's doing around here, but I think we're getting a bit foggy now. Yeah, we are. That dynamic weather's really playing ball, isn't it? It's got a bit foggy now. Onwards we go, bouncing all the way to Lytham. Don't know whether this is Lytham or Lytham St Anne's. I'm just going to have a quick check because I've heard of both. So this here is Lytham, just Lytham, it's always just been Lytham. Then you've got Ansell and Fairhaven, St Anne's on Sea, Squires Gate, Blackpool Pleasure Beach and Blackpool South. Well, that's how we've got it now. I don't know whether there are stations that used to exist that are in this that won't be in. I don't exactly know, I can't imagine so, because the Beaching Axe was prior to this even. Beaching came well before this happened, so probably not. So Lytham is our next station stop, 1.5 hours. I do feel like 75 round here is very fast. But I'm happy to get up to 75 if the unit can do it and the line speed is allowing. Definitely. A massively high line speed. Feels like it should be more like 50. It is going to be 50 in a minute. Start braking. And I think the timings for this route make it really feel like you do need to so that 50 came well before the 50 on that distance marker. given it's completely and utterly now very misty, or even foggy, I think we're doing alright, given I don't know where the bloody platform is, and I've never driven this route before. There you go, that's Lytham. Just going into now. Oh, a nice little station this actually. Got the mothballed second platform over there. Because as retro as this is retro. It's still, you know, massively changed since the 1930s. Back when this was double tracked all the way through to Blackpool South, which had about 8 or 10 platforms. Honestly, completely changed. And the weather conditions outside, look at that. Barely see anything. How quickly the weather changes, though. Bit of warm air and suddenly you've got fog. Oh, hello. Right, let's lock the doors. And we're on through to Ansel and Fairhaven. Yep. We got... Oh, well, maybe I just thought for 1 minute we had the tail lights on at the rear. Sorry, the headlights on at the rear. Definitely not. Right, here we go. Only a mile to Ansel and Fairhaven, so let's thrash it. Absolutely thrash the living daylights out of this fast 142 pacer. That'll do. We're not going to have to go far. I reckon by the time we get to 50 we'll be slowing down again. We might not even get to 50 to be honest. Try my best. Yeah, I think 50 should be alright. Depends how quickly this unit gets up to 50. Oh, it's not fast, is it? Really not fast. And there we go, that's 50. Let's initiate some brake. Next stop, Ansel and Fairhaven. And there we go, I think that was exactly the right point to brake, to be honest. Coming into the station, you want to be no more than 20 in my mind, because it's a pacer, so you have no idea what it's going to do. There we go, that's Ansel and Fairhaven. Not due here for very long, and it's not a very big station at all. In fact, it's a nice little, well, I would have thought it's a nice little island platform, but it's not, because you've only got one line. It used to be a nice little island platform, by the way. And let's get on our way. And onwards we go. Unfortunately, because it's literally a one-track line, you're literally just going to be doing these stations in reverse on the way back, which is going to be interesting. So Alright, let's give it a good thrash. See how quickly we can get to St Anne's on Sea, which is our next stop. Yeah, which is exactly how it is in real life. And then you've got Squires Gate, Blackpool, Pleasure Beach, and Blackpool South. So we're not doing too badly. So I can see this is probably going to be the commuters train from Blackpool South to Preston. Because obviously this time of the morning on a Wednesday or a Thursday or a Monday, could have a lot of people going to work. Now it's not changed all that much, because instead of having crappy old Pacers, you've now just got crappy old 150s. So it's not actually changed that much down this line. Right, we're going to be able to get to 60. This is the aim now, is to get to 60. I don't think so, somehow. Although now it's levelled out, we might be able to. When we get to 60, I will shut off the throttle and start braking for St Anne's on Sea. There we go, that's us braking for St Anne's on Sea. I think we're braking a tad late this time, unfortunately, so I'm going to put us into notch 2. And there we go, that's St Anne's on Sea, our next station stop. Not very foggy, definitely. Oh, this is a big station, isn't it, compared to the rest of them. Obviously, you could have imagined this was a rather major interchange at one point. And look at the length of the platform. A little two-coach... oh, there you go, now the weather's changing again. There you go. Little two-coach 142 just looks lost here, doesn't it? Absolutely lost. Wow. Interesting area, definitely. Right, let's lock the doors. Get on our way. Squires Gate. Yep, so it's just as it is in real life. I'd love to see this route in Trains Classic, I tell you that. I really think it could do it justice. Especially now we've got it in Train Sim World 4. Might have a little signal box at the end here as well. I think we do actually, yeah. And matey's British Rail van. Oh, look at that! Oh, wow! Oh, wow! Now that is, honest to God, it's got to be one of the best things I think I've ever found in this game. Wow. Little old signal box. Oh, blimey. It's even got the old St Anne's on Sea. Oh, wow. Now that is special. Very special indeed. Honestly, that's the sort of detail that makes this a Just Trains route and not a Dovetail Games route. So honestly, if that's the sort of assets that are available, I cannot wait to see what Alan Thompson's simulation have done. We don't know exactly what route that is, by the way, but I do have some good news for the Trains and World fans. If you do like British routes and you want something a little bit more modern, I'm always up for something a little bit more modern. The Goblin line is coming to Trains and World 4 in 2024, this year. So, wow, that's something special, isn't it? So the Goblin line is the line that runs between Gospel Oak and Barking, although in Train Sim Classic it runs between Gospel Oak and Barking. In real life it runs now between Gospel Oak and Barking Riverside, which is a new station that's been built a little bit further down by Ripple Lane to supplement a new housing estate that's being built in that area. Barking is apparently an up-and-coming area, according to the Mayor of London. Exactly what drugs he was on when he did make that statement, I'm not entirely sure, but I've never heard anyone speak about Barking as an up-and-coming area. In fact, if I was to describe Barking, no offence to the Barconians that are out there, I'd describe it as a down and going area. If you see what I mean, it's just getting worse. I mean, yeah, you can build fancy houses there. It doesn't stop. You know, that doesn't stop what the area's like. It doesn't stop what East London's like, really. But you know, credit where credit's due. It's a fantastic train station, and I would like to try it in real life. I've never been there in real life. So if you are a fan of modern rolling stock, and there we go. Yeah, if you are a fan of modern rolling stock and whatnot, yeah, then that is the route for you. It even features the Class 710, which is not actually in the game yet. And when that is released, we'll finally be able to operate the Class 710 on the Bakerloo line. Barkaloo line? Yeah, the Barkaloo line. That's what the posh people call it. The Bakerloo line. Between Queen's Road, or Queen's Town Road? No, Queen's Road. Yeah, I think it's Queen's Park? Yeah, Queen's Park sounds about right, yeah. Queen's Park and Harrow and Wealdstone, which is, by the way, not the full route. The full route's Euston to Watford. But hey ho, gives us a bit of more AI variation on that route. Plus, you'll have the whole Goblin line, and I cannot wait for that to be released because, yeah, I'm a big fan of the 710s, the new Aventry unit, and I'm also a big fan of the Goblin line itself. I've really enjoyed it in Train Sim Classic, especially when you used to get the 172s on it, even better. So yeah, that's coming soon. Our next stop is Blackpool South. This is where we start to get into the Blackpool area. As you can see, we've got theme park amusements in the background, which is courtesy of Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Now, whenever I go to Blackpool, I'm actually quite cheeky, and there's somewhere you can park around here. I'll have to show it to you. I might do it on the way back though, because I'm a bit too preoccupied with exploring the whole area at the moment. But on the way back, I'll show you where I park my car and all of this jazz whenever I go to Blackpool. It's a little hack, basically. It's just near here, literally just near here, because this is the bridge I go over. And there you go, Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Oh, Luminek, the rides are in operation. Don't let that distract you. Oh, there it goes. That's brilliant. Oh wow, I'm massively distracted now from driving. How you could drive this route without being distracted, I have no idea. Maybe in order to ride this route, they have to ask you, do you like theme parks? And if the answer is yes, you're banned from driving the route. If the answer is no, brilliant. You know, get him on it straight away. Can't believe it. That bridge there is where I get on. Is where I go to walk to Blackpool. I didn't realise it's that far from Blackpool Pleasure Beach Station, which by the feels of it is miles away from where that bridge is, which is where I cross. And here we go, the sun's coming out again now. So we've had a bit of everything. We've had a bit of sun, a bit of cloudiness, a bit of fog. And we're actually early. Can't believe that. I've just realised something. When I saw the buffers come into view, I've just realised something. Where the hell is Blackpool Pleasure Beach Station? Right, we'll explore that on the way back. I have no idea. There is actually a station at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Either have we missed it or something? No? Well, we didn't go through any stations. I'm confused. Maybe Blackpool Pleasure Beach didn't exist in this day and age. Well, the Pleasure Beach did, so I'm surprised the station didn't. That's why I wasn't prepared for the buffers, because I thought we were going. I thought it was a long way. I really did think that was a long way. Right, very confused. Anyway, we'll leave on that confusing note here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the video, and with a click of my fingers, we'll come back and we'll be ready to operate our next service back towards Ormskirk this time. So here we go. I'll click my fingers, and we'll be here in Ormskirk. Now that's definitely 100% going to be the thumbnail. That's got to be. Has to be the thumbnail. So, yep, there we go. With a click of my fingers, and here we go. We're now in Ormskirk. And here we are, everyone. We're now still in Blackpool South. Going to be operating the service all the way through to Ormskirk. So, the service today will be calling at the following principal stations. Squires Gate, because we found out Blackpool Pleasure Beach doesn't exist in this game. St Anne's-on-Sea, Ansel and Fairhaven, Lytham, Moss Side, Kirkland Wesham, Preston, still not calling it Salwick. And then we go via this signal, do a token exchange at Midfall, and then we go on to Croston, Rufford, where there is a foot crossing. I believe there's a crossing keeper based at Rufford. And then there's Burscough Junction, and finally Ormskirk. So it's not too long a journey, but it will be nice and fun for us to do. So let's jump in and get this train going down to Ormskirk. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. Lock the doors. Instrument panel lights are on. Is the AWS isolated? Yeah. That's annoying. Yeah, I'll just answer your call in just a sec. The master key's on. Reverses and forward. Interesting. I think it's because I keep making this mistake. I keep putting it into because it's in emergency in the rear cabinet. Right, just give me 1 sec. I'm not very good at driving these paces. Sorry guys, train's delayed because I'm an idiot. Give me a sec. Yeah, it's an emergency. Let's take that down to release. I don't know what you're meant to have it on, but release sounds about right. I'm going back to the front cab. Don't worry. Surely this should work now. There we go, that's better. So we'll go via Blackpool Pleasure Beach, which no longer exists. So that means straight to Squires Gate, which is our next station stop. So as the train guard would say, very warm welcome aboard this service, passengers for Ormskirk. This is your service to Ormskirk. Our next stop will be Squires Gate. Onwards to St Anne's-on-Sea, Ansel and Fairhaven, Lytham, Moss Side, Kirkland Wesham, Preston for 8:36 this morning. Onwards then to Croston, Rufford, Burscough Junction and Ormskirk for 9:30. Our next stop on this service will be Squires Gate. So yeah, I'll show you where I park my car now. Basically because I feel like it's feel that it's worth knowing that there are places you can park your car, especially for Blackpool Air Show and that sort of thing. There's places you can park your car that are not going to cost you an arm and a leg. In fact, if I remember rightly, I don't pay for parking at all. So I've learned this sort of nice little trick now. And this is Blackpool Pleasure Beach here, which is nice to see. Look at that! Look at that! That is fantastic to see. That's wonderful. Right, here we go. So here you go, this is the bridge that I walk over, and then I believe I park my car, if I'm right, it's just down this road here. It's just anywhere down here, not blocking people's spaces obviously, where there's a wall I just park my car. It's not permit parking, nothing like that, there's no parking restrictions there whatsoever. So you just park your car there, walk over the bridge, and you're literally at the beach. You're a long way from Blackpool Tower, which is, if I was to show you Blackpool Towers, well, you wouldn't be able to see it. It's very much in the distance, to be honest. So yeah, so you're not that close to Blackpool Tower, but you're more on the south side of Blackpool. But then again, I'm one for getting step counts up and stuff like that. So for me, walking all the way up to Blackpool Tower, especially on a nice day, is not a problem whatsoever. So, and anyway, free parking, you can't do anything wrong with free parking, can you? So number one thing I hate about driving is how you're just profiteered by insurance companies, parking companies, stuff like that. You are just, you know, you're just a money machine, effectively. And you are in debt to these companies permanently. You know, if you dare go 1 mile an hour over the speed limit by accident, no, you know, you can't do that. So I feel it's a bit of a difficult world when you're driving a car, and it's best to you know, best to take all the liberties you can get. I have absolutely no idea what's going to happen, but I would not be surprised whatsoever if that became permit parking in the not too distant future, because they'll notice that people have started doing it, especially when the people who live there kick off. But then again, I go there usually during the week, so most people are at work, so hopefully, you never know. A lot of people started working from home these days, so totally changed world we live in. Right, next stop is St Anne's on the Sea. Let's get these stops ticked off one after the other. So in terms of AI, you're not going to get much AI on this branch, and you're probably not going to get much AI when you head down to Ormskirk, but you will get some nice AI in between Kirkham and Preston. And also, the route just after Preston down to Ormskirk is just as new to me as this route is. No, that's never been in Trains in before either, so... yeah, so there we go. Let's open the windows, some air in. Nice little bouncing about on your Class 142 pacer. I'm not going to be featuring the Class 47 because the 47 is not new to this route, unlike the 142 pacer. It's not new addition to the game. If you want to have a look at the 47, if you want me to have a look at that 47 and do the Burn Naze branch, which is the freight only branch that runs just up here, this is Burn Naze, this area here. If you want me to have a look at that, just let me know and I'll certainly feature that in a future video. So here we go, our next stop is St Anne's on Sea. I think we are a tad late. It's all because of my hijinks with with the brake. Sorry about my throat. As I said, man flu is a very annoying thing. I have got a glass of water, but it's not. It's just something you've got to experience, unfortunately. Right, here we go, St Anne's on Sea. There you go. That's us at St Anne's on Sea. It's again a lovely looking station that really does need some work doing to it, as you can see here. Blooming hell, it's in quite a state, isn't it, this station? I think they're doing it up. I bloody well hope so. It looks it looks like it needs a lot of work. Right, so in terms of what we're going to be featuring on the channel, this year is going to be quite an interesting year. We've got a lot of new simulators and whatnot that I'm looking forward to showcasing to you. I'm on the verge of having a look at some brand new simulating content that I can bring to the channel. If you would like to see some wider variety of simulation content, whether that be Euro Truck Simulator, American Truck Simulator, which I used to do in the past, as well as new simulation content like Construction Simulator, Police Simulator, Farming Simulator, that sort of thing. If you want to see any of that, just let me know in the comment section below. That's what it's there for. And I'll gladly have a look into doing a video like that. That is no issue at all. In terms of streaming, I stopped streaming last year because it was just too much of a commitment on top of this with work and everything like that. I don't have the same stress I had last year from work anymore, which is good. However, that does not mean I'm going to return to streaming. I need to see how I'm going to feel. But if there is a possibility that streaming can become something that we can fit into the schedule, I will 100% go back to streaming. There's no doubt about that. This is Ansel and Fairhaven. And this is a cough that just won't get shifted. It wasn't that bad when I... Sorry, it wasn't that bad when I started videos, because it's been talking. It just makes the cough worse, unfortunately. I've not got to the point yet where I've said, oh, I need Lemsip. I don't, you know, it's not that bad, but you never know. There we go, we're only 30 seconds late now. We've just got one more stop and then we're back on the main line. Right, so have a look at us. Looks like there used to be an even older station here, to be honest. That looks like a parcel building or something like that, maybe. Nice old footbridge here as well. Typical dull day. Started off nice with the sun out, but now it just feels like a typical normal day. Will we get to 50? That's the question before we have to break. Yeah, we should do. Right, so let's break in for Lytham. It's also worth mentioning that when we do get to Ormskirk, I don't know whether it is in this game, but it is a connection for Merseyrail in real life. Don't know if that's always been the case, so we'll have a nice look when we get there, but used to be quite nice because at Kirby used to have a connection for Merseyrail, and at Ormskirk used to have a connection for Merseyrail, and Southport a connection for Merseyrail as well. However, they buggered, I reckon. Well, I say Headbolt Lane is awful in terms of a connection. Don't know why they've built this massive barrier that separates Merseyrail from the main line. It makes it look like, oh no, you know, can't see Merseyrail, you know. Makes it look like Merseyrail are privileged, and, you know. I don't understand that idea. That it makes no sense to me. Whereas if I remember at Ormskirk, the train just comes in, and the it just literally, the buffers are just a couple of hundred, well, if 100 metres from each other, maybe even less than that, 20, 30 metres from each other. Lock the doors. That doesn't take long. Oh, because we're very late, that's why I'll do it. And we've still got Moss Side to go. Forgot about Moss Side. Might be able to make the time back by the time we get to Preston, we'll see. So my accelerating strategy is always the same. Straight up to notch 4 to get us on the move. I follow notch 4 up to 10, and then on notch 5 up to 20, and then max speed after that. And then I'll just shut us off when we get to 50 now. Because we've got that 50-mile-an-hour speed limit coming up. That's if we manage to get to 50. The Bouncy Express. Oh, this is where you can get up to some nice speeds. And we really do need to, because we are running late, as you can see, so... A little bit late, not very late, just a little bit late. That is my fault. Might have made back some time here actually, to be honest. There we go, that's us at Moss Side on time. So there you go, very easy. Oh, nice, we've got level crossing. Very nice. We're early now, so... To contact British Rail, phone 0253. Here we go. Tell you what, the crossings in Trains and Classic are a lot louder than this, and unlike the horn, they don't need to be that loud. The horn sounds in Trains and Classic are very quiet, whereas the crossings are very loud. It should be the other way round. The horn should be very loud and the crossing should be quieter. Honestly, makes no sense. It really doesn't. Next up is Kirkham and Wesham, back on the main line now. Or will be once we get to Kirkham and Wesham. I do love the super elevation that happens here, especially with the crossings. So that's stop, look and listen, telephone for crossing with large, low, slow vehicles, that sort of thing. Be a nice view when the pacer comes. And then that'll get us back into, yeah, there you go, into Kirkham and Wesham. And then we'll take the power off at 60. There you go. Start to slow down for our 30. Still waiting, that farmer. Bless him. What? I did not know this had announcements in it. Oh my god. Right, that is insane. That was never explained to me during the Pacer introduction, right? I did that introduction training video, and at no point did they ever mention it had announcements. In fact, that's the first time I've heard of that. Normally, when you press the phone, you call the signaller on the phone. That's kind of what it's there for, so... Oh, I'm going to be playing with that for the rest of the blooming video, I can tell you that. Blooming hell. So this here is Kirkham and Wesham. We're on a red signal here, so that's interesting. Got no DRAs, so I can't exactly. I don't think trains had DRAs in this time. Tell you what though, it's very quiet. I don't want to say the Q word, but I've not seen much AI. Especially now we're back on the main line. Back on a green, that's good. Next stop is Preston. Lovely.
The next station stop is Preston.
Preston! Oh, I love this little pacer. Not a very busy service, is it, given it's... Oh yeah, everyone's sitting in one carriage, aren't they? They're all facing the wrong direction. Right, let's get this up to 75, which is our max speed. Rightio, so onwards to Preston. I think it's time to probably have a brief thoughts about what I think of this route, and that is, given it wasn't really very much. I mean, given the sort of routes we get in Trains and Classic, this is tiny, absolutely tiny. It's worth mentioning that I've not actually seen a route yet in Trains and Worlds 4 that actually is more than 40 miles in length. You see, it seems to me there's some sort of this is Sowick. There's some sort of issue that prevents people from going more than 40 miles in the game. There's a train there. It is weird. A good example being that Goblin line. The London Overground network is ginormous. It runs Crystal Palace, it runs all the way to Watford High Street, Watford Junction, it runs to Kensington, it runs throughout to the Goblin side of things. It's Barking, runs throughout South London as well, New Southgate and places like that. New Southwark, I don't know, there's places in South London that I'm thinking of, and they choose to replicate the smallest portion of it, or one of the smallest portions of it. I mean, they operate Chingford and places like that, and Cheshire, which are very small branches, but this is not a big route. Gospel Oak to Barking. So I'm intrigued as to what it's going to be like. Personally, I think they should have done. If I was them, I would have done Willesden Junction to Goblin, and then also featured the London Overground network that goes via Camden Road through to Stratford, and then you could sort of marry the two routes up, if you see what I mean. I just think including one very specific section of line and then excluding everything else is just so short-sighted, and it seems to be something in Train Sim World. People don't want to build more than so many miles. This is an incredible route, and I will never put it down. It is absolutely fantastic in every way I've found it so far. However, I'm suffering with the normal issue that I have in this game, which is that by the time we get to Ormskirk, all that we've got left to do would be Ormskirk back to Blackpool North, and that's it. That's the entire route. There's nothing else. Apart from Burn Naze, obviously. That's a nice addition. So yeah, for that reason, this is a solid 9 out of 10 route. The pace is fantastic. The rolling stock's fantastic. The scenery is fantastic. The attention to detail is fantastic. It's just not big enough. It needs to have more. It needs to go to Blackburn. It needs to feature more. It needs to be more than just this little. Oh, here you go. Here's Blackpool, the two versions of Blackpool, and a line to Ormskirk, and that's it. What about Blackburn? What about the rest of the country that doesn't get featured in Train Sim Classic either? So yeah, my normal issue is just the length. So at the moment this stands at a solid 9 out of 10 for me, and we'll see how well it goes on. But yeah, definitely a 9 out of 10 for now. It would have been a 10 had it been a bit bigger. I want something that's going to take me literally days to explore the entire route. There we go, we're far too fast again. And this, unfortunately, doesn't have enough content to allow for that. I mean, I'm here, I'm on a deadline because I'm actually filming this in December, for those of you that are interested, because I've got more filming time in December than I will in January. Obviously, with it being Christmas break, there's loads of films on, so I've literally got no recording space left on my preview box. So I'm I'm going to have to actually watch some of these films now, rather than record them, otherwise you miss out. So there's stuff on this afternoon that I'd like to see. So I wanted to do this in the morning and that in the afternoon. So kind of balance everything out really. And it's not going to take us that long to get to Ormskirk. I reckon another half an hour and we'll be finished with this. That's my only criticism for this entire route, is simply the length. It's just not big enough for my liking. It needs to be bigger. Really does need to be bigger. And it needs to feature Preston docks as well. Why that was excluded, even though the entirety of Preston was included, I don't know. As I say, these are all very small criticisms. I would never hold them against this. I think Just Trains have done an incredible job with this route. I just think it is simply a tad too small for my liking. I like the Midland Main Line because by the time you've finished it, by the time you've done Sheffield to Nottingham to Lincoln to Leicester to Derby to Manchester Piccadilly, you've used up most of your day, to be honest. It's a huge route, and I love that. And then you've got the East Coast Main Line merge for Train Sim Classic. That route you can drive from London to Edinburgh. Well, I've been on a train from London to where family live in Allenmouth, and yeah, you leave London at 7:30 in the evening. You don't get to live in Almouth till 11:30 at night, 11 o'clock at night. You know, that's a proper drive. You can drive that in Trains Sim Classic. But why are we limiting to 40 miles? This feels like a collection of very small routes, is what this simulator feels like. There are other simulators that have come out recently, train simulators, that are completely different to Train Sim Classic and Train Sim World. However, they feature much longer routes. So, yeah. In a way, yeah, kind of disappointed on that behalf, but that's it. Everything else in this route is superb, apart from the AI. Where is the AI? Why is Preston Station empty? And why have we got a 35-minute wait? Oh, I'm going to have to do another cut of this video. This is going to take forever to put together in the edit, but don't worry, we're going to be fine. So there you go. I'm going to knock it down another point because of that, because to me it doesn't feel anywhere near as busy as Preston should. It's 8:35 in the morning, it is rush hour. Where are the trains? Why am I the only person here? This announcement thing is superb, by the way. But honestly, where are the trains? That is super scary, it really is. This station should be bustling. It really is in real life. It is absolutely bustling. It just feels like that's the #1 issue with this game. The routes are too short, and then on top of that, there's no AI. There's literally nothing. Every platform is empty apart from mine. Is there a strike on or something? It doesn't make any sense. It literally doesn't make any sense. Anyway, what I'll do is, because we've got to wait till 9 o'clock, I'm not going to make you wait for that. I'm going to cut the video here, and you'll see me back in the cab when we depart at 9 o'clock for Ormskirk. So, see you in a sec. Hello everyone, and we are back. It's nearly 9 o'clock as the clock nearly reaches 9 o'clock there. So yeah, we're still waiting here at Preston. I've basically played the simulator ever since waiting, ever since the video stopped a few minutes ago for you, or half an hour ago for me, and literally no AI whatsoever. Apart from, I think there was a little shuttle train that arrived. If I zoom in, yep, there's a little shuttle train here that goes to Blackburn and that sort of direction, but that's it. It's literally all the AI I've seen. Also worth noting, you've got a nice little shunter here with some parcel sidings and whatnot, which is nice to see. They just carry sidings these days. And this is the old Royal Mail terminal here. Nowadays a Network Rail building. and they teach in here. There's classrooms and briefing rooms and stuff in there, and temporary accommodation here for Network Rail staff as well. Although apparently that's all set to change with these platforms. Apparently that could be reinstated in the near future. We'll have to wait and see what the money brings. Anyway, here we are, nearly 9 o'clock, time to go and time to head towards Ormskirk. So yeah, this is definitely now a solid 8 out of 10 route. It would have been 10 out of 10. It's absolutely fantastic in every way, shape and form, apart from it's far too short, which is what I emphasised earlier. And the other issue, major issue in my mind, is there's no AI. It just feels empty. What is it? It feels like a strike day, almost. You know, it's just absolutely, I mean, you know, I've been to Preston on a strike day, and it's just dead. And this is exactly like that. Maybe it's just simulating strike days, I don't know. Right, so let's close the doors and get underway. Our next stop on this service will be Signal Romeo Delta 14. No, our next station on this one is Croston. So it feels like a lifetime. I don't exactly know why the train comes in from Blackpool South and then sits here for half an hour before then going out towards Ormskirk. That's a bit bizarre. But nonetheless, we're back on our way, heading towards our next station stop at Croston, yeah. So you've got the signal down there, we've got to go via and then stop at the token exchange to exchange the token. And we're now on our way heading towards Ormskirk. This is all new for Train Simulator, never been in the simulator before, so brand new for everyone. This part of the route's been in Train Sim for a long time in the West Coast Main Line over Shap route. And obviously now, more recently, in West Coast Main Line Missing Link. Oh, need to just slow down. Not exactly sure what the speed limit is around here. It was 30. Definitely said 30. It seems to have gone up now. Another 30 coming up, but I'll get us up to 50 in the meantime. Yeah, there's a lot of different speed limit changes coming up. And the sun's come out again. How wonderful is that? Like a proper pacer route now. Only problem is, as I say, no AI. I've not seen a single bit of AI on most of the session, to be honest. And this is in timetable mode. You know, free roam. There should be AI. It's just not very good. I don't exactly know why. I always try my best and put in as much AI as possible into my scenarios. I don't know why this game has such trouble doing the same thing. Well, this is 30, so I better slow down. Yeah. Even worse, it's actually 20. The weather outside is frightful, is how the song goes, and it literally is. I don't think it's heavy rain, and I mean heavy rain, fast moving clouds, and because I've got the water just outside of my apartment, it's really rough out there. Given it's non-tidal up here, you'd think it was tidal given how much the wind is blowing the water about. That is, yeah, it's a perfect day to not go out. I'll put it that way. Here we are. This is the Ormskirk branch. Going off here to the right, to the left, you'll head off there towards Blackburn, which is the route that should really be in this route, but it isn't for some weird reason. So, hey, we've got plenty of miles to go, and then we enter into the token exchange zone, and that's where it gets quite interesting from there on. I didn't want to do this in two separate videos. A lot of my introduction to route videos, such as the Midland Main Line introduction to route video, which you will have seen by now, that came out on New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve, that only featured a small part of the route, and I said I'd go towards Derby in a future video. I want to do away with that. I want to just do a full, you know, so you've got the whole route review there, and if you want to have a look at the further part of the route, we can do it in a different video. That's why I'm featuring the 142 in all of its glory here. We will go to Blackpool North in a different video. I'm not going to put that in, otherwise this gets insanely long, but I'm trying to feature it as much as I physically can into one video, if you see what I mean. So I'm going to put timestamps, things like that. The videos, I don't want to keep them short, because short and sweet doesn't always necessarily mean that you've got all the content in there, to be honest. So here we go, bouncing our way down to Ormskirk, and the sun's gone in again. Bit of a cloudy day out there. At least it's not raining, which is what it is outside at the moment. Nice little bouncy little pace of route, which is what we love. I'm going to be using this on the on various other routes that we've also got in Train Sim. Got Teesside, Saltburn, that sort of stuff. All that's in the route, so well, in Train Sim World, not this route, but Train Sim World. Got a reg coming up here. Assume that's the start of the token section. Typical. You get your speed up and then you're brought back down to a hole again. Oh, we've got to exchange tokens here, have we? Right. That makes sense. So he'll hold that signal at danger in the signal box until you're at or nearly at a stand. And then he'll clear it. And then you'll go up to the signal box. Meet the signaller, who'll be standing here. And then get the token from him. Hello, my friends. How are you doing? Very good. Yeah, lovely weather, isn't it? Like normal. Brilliant. Cheers. Yeah, I'll see you on the return run. Cheers. See you in a sec, pal. Ta-ra. And off we go for the token exchange. I like that. It's a nice little included sequence. So that's Midge signal box, where you get the token for the Ormskirk line. We've got 2.7 miles to our first stop at Croston. Hopefully we should be able to get up to max speed. So what he'll do now is he'll raise the barriers and get on the way. Nice little signal box, that probably a grade 3, maybe 2. Can't imagine it's a very high grade. You've just got one track, one train. You hold it at that's like a mad signal. You maintain it at danger until the train approaches, like an approach control, and then when he's at or nearly at a stand, you let him go. He knows he's got to stop to pick up the token anyway. Or you bloody hope so. Otherwise he buggers off down the track with no token. And that's it. So that's a pretty simple box to work in. Got to understand though that you've got to basically be able to work. You've got to prove that you can work at grades 5 or 6 level, which is what the simulator's at, to be able to do a grade 2 box. So to be able to do 1 train an hour, you've got to prove you can do 15 trains every 10 minutes. It's kind of bizarre, but yeah, that's kind of the way it is, unfortunately. So for some people, like myself, I would love to. We're very late, aren't we? God, I thought bizarrely late. Yeah. You know, for me, you know, I'm very, very good at doing 1 train an hour. Not very good at doing 5 trains every 15 minutes, or 15 trains every 15 minutes. And it's, you know, it's a lot of procedures and whatnot that are almost nonsensical. And, you know, you've got to prove that you can work at a much higher level than you actually want to work at. You know, if you just want to work at grade 2, you can't just say pass on a grade 2. You have to pass whatever the pass mark is. And that's a problem, you see. That is a very subjective way to train. I'd much prefer you to train, but, you know, whatever you want to work. Then again, that's the problem. There might not be a vacancy at that box, and if there ain't a vacancy at that box, you're going to have to work at grade 5 or wherever the vacancy is. So that's probably why they train you at that box. Unlike in the previous times, if you applied for, I don't know, say Moss Side signal box or whatever, they would train you to work in Moss Side signal box. They wouldn't train you to work in any other box, because that's not where you're going to be working. So nowadays it's all changed, it really has. You've got to be trained to work in 8 and 10 different boxes, you know, that's why you've got release signalers and stuff like that. It's a very complicated world it's become, and that's kind of why, you know, signalers that do sit in grade 2 boxes are now trained to... I'm not going to stop here, am I? No. I've overrun the first station in the entire route. Well done. I'm not putting it in emergency, that's ridiculous. We will go back, I am sorry. Yeah, we're quite late now. 2.5 minutes late. Oh well. Don't exactly know where that time went. Because we were speeding on most of the earlier portion, but yeah, so that's why. So you've got all these people that are working in these boxes, grade 1, grade 2, and if they were recently trained, i.e. they've been recently put in there, they're not grade 1 or 2 signalers. They're trained to grade 5 level, grade 4 or 5 level. You can't actually work in a box, even as a crossing keeper. Well, it's subjective for crossing keepers, it depends whether there's vacancies available, but certainly as a grade 2 signaller, you're not a grade 2 signaller, and often the time they have a lot of release signals, I've found out, that work in these grade 2 boxes, and they might be grade 7 release signalers. They might be, you know, far, far higher trained, like trained to work in proper, like Preston power signal box, they'll be trained to work in. And the next day they'll say, oh yeah, can you just go down and cover Moss Side, do 1 train an hour instead of 15 trains every 10 minutes. And they must get bored, honestly. Whereas for me, sitting in that box there, 1 train an hour, do that for the rest of my life. Happily. The only problem is because you've got to be trained to such a high standard, far beyond, because you're now trained just to become a signaller. You're not trained to become that signaller. You're trained to become a signaller. It's different. They changed it all, and that's where the problem in my mind just came, because multitasking for me don't come naturally. In fact, it actually doesn't come to me at all. So trying to work out what to do in an emergency situation where you've got to do 10 things at once was just... I mean, I know what to do if you sat me in that signal box, but maybe if I had an emergency signal situation in a grade 4 box, I'd know. Yeah, it is bizarre. It is very bizarre how it's all done now. So, I think the moral of the story is stick to SimSim. That way nothing can go wrong. There's your distance signal. Or your repeater. I've intentionally forgotten everything that I learned. Just because it's just to make any sense. It just got a bit too... This rule conflicts with that rule, it conflicts with this rule. Nothing was ever straightforward. Here we go, so this is Rufford, where you've got a crossing keeper position, a grade 1. Got a nice little crossing keeper here, he does his job nicely. Can't stop from speeding, can we? Oh yeah, you've got this manual gates, isn't it? Yeah, so there's a crossing keeper's position there, wow. Obviously I've never been to Rufford in my life, but good to know there was something in it. Yeah, so we're now 3 minutes late. I don't know how, we're just getting later and later, but... Our next stop, I think, after this, I think we've got a couple more stops, and then we're there. We're at Ormskirk. Right, let's lock the left doors. Off we go. Nice little 15 mile an hour as we go out of Rufford. Nice little station. Really quaint. I like it. And I like this route. I really like this route. It just feels so dead. It feels like you're the only person in the world. Oh, there's a canal over there. Oh wow, that is cute. And a lock and everything. Now that is beautiful. Right, let's get on our way. Next stop is Burscough Junction. We're already late. Oh well, British Rail was never on time, was it? So I'm not doing an injustice at all, am I? So, yeah, you got Burscough Junction and then finally Ormskirk. So not too long to go now. Well, hopefully you've enjoyed the video, the full-on review of Just Train's brand new Blackpool Branches route for Train Sim World 4. It's their first route for Train Sim World 4, and given the fantastic plethora of content we've got for Train Sim Classic, I'll be the first person to say this is superb. This is done really, really nicely to a wonderful quality, and if this is what we're going to be getting from Train Sim Classic stuff over to Train Sim World 4, and if this is what we're going to be getting from Just Trains, then I cannot wait for their next release. However, if you are there saying to yourself, you know what, I really want a route that's got lots of AI and regular services and it's nice and long, I'll be honest to say Train Sim World is not the game for you at all, because I don't know any route that's got tons of AI and all this jazz and another. I mean, some of the American routes are quite good, and the you know, when you get down to Victoria and places like that on the Brighton mainline routes, they are very AI heavy. I mean, that's probably one of my favourite routes in the game, is probably Victoria to Brighton, because it's a proper decent trek. It takes more than an hour to do, so. You know, that's where you want to go if you want that sort of thing. But if you want a game, if you want a route that's nice, pleasant to drive, not much AI, not much to do, just enjoy the drive leisurely, this is definitely the route for you. Well, don't say I didn't tell you so. That it's it's slow in places, fast in other places. It's got a nice little juxtaposition of pace and stuff like that, and it really feels like it's got a lot of character. That's what I like about this route. I mean, add the wonderful AI. There you go, we've just gone over another railway. The wonderful AI that we've got from other Train Sim World 4 routes, and honestly, you know, you're on to probably a solid 9 out of 10 route. That's all it needs, just an increase of AI. I know that they're not going to, you know, they're not going to extend the routes. Well, I say that, I don't know that, but it's very unlikely they'll probably extend the route now it's been released. But Just Trains do like doing route extensions, as we know with Midland Main Line. It once started off just being Derby to Nottingham. No, not even that was included, was it? It was Sheffield to Leicester. That was the original Midland Main Line. Then they extended it to Nottingham. Then they added all the branches and stuff, so you can go up to Ambergate Junction and Matlock. And the next minute you could do Barrow Hill. Then they did, I think it was Lincoln, if I'm right. They went all the way out to Lincoln, which is insane. So you could go to Newark Castle and all the way out to Lincoln. And the next minute you can go to bloody Manchester Piccadilly. Lincoln to Manchester Piccadilly is a long drive, I can tell you that. That's what I love about Train Sim Classic, the ability to be able to do that. What I don't like about Train Sim Classic is the fact that it crashes literally every time I load it. No matter what I do, at some point during my playtime it will crash, and that has never been fixed. No matter what they do, that will never get fixed, I don't think. So it's an issue with how I think it's an issue with the core route itself, or the core game itself, and the way it's been designed. But hello, this is Burscough Junction. And our next and final stop is Ormskirk in 2.5 miles. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that's a nice. I just like loads of like really. Really scenic views you can get on this route. That's what I love about it. So here we go, onwards to Ormskirk, which is our next and final calling point. So now is a chance to round it up. Scenery, superb. Graphics, superb. The Class 142 Pacer. It's not a hugely advanced train. There's not that much you can do on it. You can do a hell of a lot more than you can do in Trains Sim Classic. So I'll say excellent. The route itself, really fun to drive. Nice little chopping and changing between stopping and starting. You can go into Preston, Blackpool. You can drive the 47 on intercity and also freight services. And you've got this nice little bouncy pacer if you want it. The Class 101 was involved earlier, so you can even drive that. I am assured that there's rail tours involved in this as well, so get your LMS Black 5 out if you want and have a good old rail tour down to Blackpool North. There are tons, absolutely tons you can do on this route. And for that, I'm going to stick at a solid 8 out of 10, maybe even 8.5, but the fact that it is so quiet, I cannot give them that extra point, so it is going to be an 8 out of 10 for me. This is an 8 out of 10, solid, fantastic route, far surpasses my expectations in terms of scenery. I mean, look at the stuff around here, it's just so cleverly done. It's just realistic, out the wazoo, brilliant. It just is too short, in my liking, to be honest. I like to commit a lot of time to Trains World, so it is far too short for me, and it just doesn't have the amount of AI that needs to be put in at places like Preston. It's an intercity station. It needs reskins of the HST. It needs, you know, old BR versions of the HST. It needs 47s. You've got Class 20s that could be put on freight services. You've got tons. Absolutely tons you could do in terms of improving the AI experience through AI, the use of AI. So yeah, for me, it's a solid 8 out of 10. I will never let it go below 8 out of 10. 8 is the lowest I would ever give this route in terms of performance, in terms of everything, encompassing everything. It is a solid 8 out of 10. This route is priced at $29.99. That is a lot of dough, a lot of money. It's not a cheap route, and I wanted to get it in the Steam sale at Christmas. However, it was not included in the Steam sale. I can only assume, because it is far too new to be included, and also it's a third-party thing. And I've noticed that third-party stuff doesn't tend to get included in Steam sales. But that being said, do keep an eye on it. Just Trains also have sales at times, so always have a look there, see what you can get. A link to the route will be in the description below. Add it to your wish list, and Steam will let you know when it's next on sale. And here we go. This is Ormskirk. On the other side, you've got the Merseyrail. So we'll have a quick flick around Ormskirk, and then we will end the video there. Let's open the doors. Sails into neutral. Doesn't appear to be any driver safety device or anything like that either, so that's something else I'll mention. But look at that. Wonderful Ormskirk. First time I've been to Ormskirk in Train Sim World, or Train Sim at all. Obviously on the other side of Ormskirk you've got trains to Liverpool via these services through Merseyrail, which is what this is here. That's why you've got the third rail here actually on both sides here at Ormskirk. A nice little sort of waiting room area with, look at that mug of coffee. That looks quite cool. Very nice. Don't exactly know what that was. Golf bag collected. Interesting. Oh wow! So yeah, in Train Sim World routes, really, you can't actually go outside the front of the station. You can't really explore very much. You're kind of restricted because there's invisible walls and stuff like that really limit the route. Whereas, oh, there you go. There's gingerbread, which is what Ormskirk's famous for, apparently. So, also got your booking office here and your departure boards. What time are we off? Blackpool South. There's one at 9:40. Oh, we've got a long, we've plenty of time here then at Ormskirk. But yeah, in terms of graphics, in terms of absolutely everything, it is a very solid route. The Class 142 Pacer is very, very fun to drive indeed. and I hope you have enjoyed this video encompassing everything that this route has to offer, just apart from Blackpool North and the Burn Naze branch, which we'll do at another time. But in the meantime, everything's linked in the description below, so do have an explore and do have a drive yourself. I know it's expensive, but it will be worth it when you do get it. And in the meantime, I hope you have a very wonderful rest of your day wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video here on LM Simulation. All the best, do take care, and ta-ra!